classroom. Okay? So take note, ako nang i-upload ang ato ang lecture note for this afternoon. So na siya diya dara. So you may download that one. And at the same time, I already uploaded our final lab exam, no? So purposely para masugdan ninyo, no? So for our final lab exam, this is all about design of structural components. So na diha ang description, dimensions of our frame wherein you are going to design the beams and the columns. Okay? So you will start siguro with the beams since we already discussed or done we already tackled all the discussions, no, for the design of beam. And then ipaulahilan din ninyo ang columns, no, kay we are out to discuss pa man, no, how to design columns. So this will serve as part, no, of your compilation, no? This will form part of your compilation. Although ang due date ani niya will be together with the compilation, but kindly start doing it now, no? Especially for the beams, no? Kay dili ra ba ni siya, kumbaga ang design sa tuwang beams dili siya in line sa atong i-discuss, or kumbaga dili siya in consonance pa sa ato ang i-discuss kay columns naman ta, no? So you, para dili mo layon, you start that one kay aron pag turo na to discuss sa column, na po dayon mo sa design sa inyong columns. Okay? So although the process will be the process, the things that you are going to do for our lab exam will be the same, pero take note na lain na siya og measurement or lain na siya og values depending on the different parameters, no? Like for example L1 traverse center to center length of span of beam. This will be based on the number of letters of your first name, no? So kung magalalain na yun mo value ana niya. So that is why you start it now para dili mo kumbaga magkano na cramming na dayon, although ang atong final exam will be during the last week of May, but at least nang sundan ninyo. Okay? And then for this week wala kitay laboratory assignment, no? Wala kitay plate for this week, so might be that you're going to start na doing your final lab exam. Okay, by next week tanas maghatag na dayon ko plate, no, which will be on the design of columns. Okay, and then you might notice here that supposedly we are going to discuss the design of slab. Ayan. But we may take note that based on our new syllabus, approved syllabus, wala na tayo slab direct na. Largo na ta sa column. This is also in line with the coverage, no, of the PRC board exam and CHED, sabi tawag na, CM. No? So after lugar sa itong T-beams, ayan, largo na dayon ta sa shear. And then, napaday torsion supposedly, oh. Quick stress for torsion. So, supposedly, mag-torsion pa rin ito, no? Mag-design pa rin ito ang torsion. So, anyway, siguro by next meeting na lang siguro during our face-to-face meeting, balikan natin yung torsion. I forgot to check the syllabus. Kaya I was thinking na mag-column na tayo. Napaday tayo short torsion sa books. Okay, so anyway, nasugda naman ni nato. So let us tackle now design of complete columns. So we will start with the introduction lang muna, different types and classification of columns, and I am going to give you an example problem, no, for simple design for short columns this afternoon, and then maybe by next week we are going to continue our discussion na tayo. Okay? But before that, allow me to I notice mo good, no, every meeting na to kay kung say tawag pag check na sa attendance kay mo daghan na dayon ang kuan, daghan na dayon ang participant. So siguro layon na to karon, alam me to check the attendance first. No, before ta mag-start sa to ang discussion. Okay? At least 31 naman ang atong participant. Absent ito na. Kaya mo na itong ako naman tikdan usually, no? Pag ting-attendance mo, daghan ang participant. Ambot nga no ka na siya. Niya, makabalo po sila nga ting-attendance na. Mga na yun. Siguro ispiya ni ato ang klase. Anyway, so ayan, agan.
Present Agan, sir.
Bago. Baker.
Present Baker, sir.
Banga.
Present Banga, sir.
Afternoon, we are going to discuss the design and analysis and design of concrete columns. So for this presentation, or for this afternoon, our lecture will be focused on first the introduction. No? What are the different types of columns? How are we going to classify the columns? And we are going to have an example problem for the design of short columns. And what is actually a effective length factor, and design of another type of column, which is the combined columns with a load columns with a loading for both axial and bending load. And we are also going to discuss how to use the moment modification factor in terms of columns which are slender columns. And of course, the last topic will be the shear design for columns. Now, for the shear design for columns, same naman ang procedure niya. If you still recall how to design the shear reinforcement for beams, the same result ang approach na niya for columns. No? Only that sometimes that we are going to consider the axial compression that the column is carrying. No? So meaning itong isa ka formula nga to ang gi-discuss. No? Doon to klase mga formulas based on our NSCP 2015. Katong isa na yun, may axial compression mo itong gamiton for the design of shear reinforcement for columns. So as part of the introduction, columns acts as a vertical support to beams and slabs. No? It is used to transmit loads to the foundations. No? So in most cases for buildings, the load is actually transferred to the slab. A slab will transfer the load to the beams, and the beams will carry the load going to our columns. And lastly, the column will transfer the load towards our foundation or footing, and the footing will spread out the stress of the building going to our soil strata or soil foundation. So meaning columns are primarily compression members. No? It is actually a compression members, but technically it will also resist bending moment, no? Transmitted by the beams. No? Diba? As we all know, if we take or in most cases, the connection between beam, column joints, no, or the connection between beam to column for concrete elements are considered to be fixed connections. No? So, meaning, in that case, the column will not only carry compression loads but also carry bending moment. No? Especially if your columns is very thin or very slender. So for concrete columns, it could be in a square. No? Okay, the cross section can be a square. It could also be a circular in shape or a rectangular in shape. So these are commonly polygons or commonly used shape for columns. But take note, you are not limited to use this particular shape. There are sometimes columns are made using an L shape or a T shape, or box shape, depending on the characteristics of the buildings. But most specifically for buildings, columns are usually in a shape of square, circular, or rectangular. Now, for rectangular columns, take note, the greatest dimension should not exceed 4 times its smaller dimension. Okay? So, dapat ang ato ang shorter sides, ato ang column, it should not, or four times, no? The four times the shorter side of the column should not be greater than the longest side. Okay? So, for example, if you have here a column like this, a rectangular column of dimension 500 by, say, 250, or halimbawa lang. So, this is 500, and this is 250. So, dapat 4 times of 250, it should not be less than 500. Okay? Balik ka din. Yeah. Okay? So, 4 times 250, it should not be less than 500. So, in other words, our 500, or the longest side of our column should be greater than 4 times of 250. So, in this case, this is 250 times 4 of it. This is 1 meter. So, that is more than the 500. So, meaning it will be designed as a column. But for example, no, naakit column same rectangular, but the longer side is, say, for example, this is 1,500 or 1.5 meters, and our thickness is only 250. So in that case, 250 times 4, that is 1,000. And take note, 1,000 is less than 1.5 or 1,500 millimeters. So meaning in that case, this will not be designed as a column, but rather it will be designed as a wall elements. So that's the difference between a wall and a column. So ang wall and a column will be categorized based on this ratio, 4 times 3. In other words, the ratio between longest side and the shorter side of the column should be equal to 4.0. In that case, we can say that that structure elements is a column. So depending on the failure, there are different failure modes, of our columns, and you might be familiar with these pictures because recently nakita earthquake na tabo sa Myanmar, and maybe you might be able to see these pictures in different online platform. So these are different failure mechanism for columns. So characterized by this particular figure. The first figure here, this is actually a failure based on the buckling. And this will happen most specifically if our column is a slender column, or a long column. We can say that it is a slender column when the dimension is very thin, in with regards or in connection to its length. Imagine good, if we are going to make an example, imagine na kay tukog, kanang walis tingting na to, and then you are going to compress, now you're going to apply at the end of that particular walis tingting, you're going to compress it, you're going to subject it to the compression load. Tendency, it will not compress, but rather it will undergo buckling first. So that is what called a buckling failure. So more or less, if you notice here, in actual figure, nag-sway, it buckles. The column actually buckles. Okay? The second figure naman, this is a compression failure. And most specifically, this happens for short columns. Meaning, mugbo ang length sa ang column. More or less, it is subjected to compression. We call that one a short column. Ang mag-govern niya is the coaxial compression loading. So if you notice here, compression failure is characterized by bursting of our concrete, and if you notice, murag na compress ang ito ang mga reinforcement. Okay? And the last failure mode naman is a shear failure. So you will notice here that our column breaks along the center of the length, and it looks like a sliding failure. So it's somewhat like a sliding failure when you say shear failure. And sometimes also, there is a combination between buckling and compression. So, nahiusahay nga itong column mag-buckle at the same time, it will also be compress. No? So, combination siya sa buckling and compression failure. So, take note as what I mentioned, for compression failure, it is likely to occur when columns are short and stacky. No? So, example ani niya for short columns are columns within a wall opening. Okay? Columns within a wall opening. So, for example, no, na ako'y column in any lugar. This is my frame. This is my beam. And this is my column. Ayan. Okay. So, originally, the column is designed like this. Okay? And, but in actual, butangan natin na siya dari of wall. Diba? So, this is a practical example of a short column. So, we put here a wall. So, tendency is this wall will support laterally. No? Nanay support ang atong column in this particular length. No? Yan. But we have this particular opening. No? Atay opening kanindiri nga portion. No? This portion here will create this particular column as a short column. So tendency is this will be subjected to a more compressive load. Okay, so in that case, it will be subjected to compression failure. Okay, so another example, no? Sometimes in the design, sa design na to, yung ano yung natubo. This is our column, this is our footing. Okay, so here also, adjacent to column supported by a footing. Okay, sometimes we install here grid beams. We are not going to install tie beam, but rather grid beams. If we are not going to design this portion here properly, this will be subjected to a lot of compressive load. So tendency ang failure niya kung hindi siya ma-design taro is compression failure because this portion of the column here is short column. Okay? So muna ang example sa po ang short column. For buckling naman, it is probable with columns which are very long and slender column. Sometimes manggod, when we are going to design column, especially if the column is of kumagataas kayo yung height, it is subjected to slenderness effect. So in that case, naadin tayo ginatawag na moment magnification factor, wherein we are going to magnify the moment that the column is carrying in order for us to consider the slenderness effect of our column. Now, if we are not going to consider the moment modification factor, tendency, the buckling load or the moment load that the column is carrying is not actually considering the slenderness effect. So, tendency, it will buckle. Okay? So, yan. So, muna itong matimanan, we need to investigate first what really is the column. No? Is it going to be a short column? Is it going to be a slender column? Because if it is a slender column, then you need to use moment modification factor in that case. Right? Okay, now let us classify our column. The classification of columns is actually dependent on several aspects. No? Different types of column depending on its category, depending on its loading characteristics, and depending on the arrangement of its shear reinforcement. So meaning we can classify the column according to first the characteristics of its lateral ties or shear reinforcement, the characteristics of its length. No? We can also classify based on the load that the column is carrying, and we can also classify the column based on its support. So let us now begin with the column ties, column classification based on the column ties. Okay? Yeah. So, you will notice here that we have three types of column based on ties. No? Ordinarily, we have type column. So, siguro you're familiar with this. It's very common. Common type column, type columns. This is characterized by a column in which the ties are installed individually. Alright? The ties are installed individually, arranged depending on the spacing of the ties. Wherein the spacing of these particular ties are designed based on the shear element for our column. Okay, so in that case, we call that one as a tied column. And mostly tied columns are columns are what we call for columns which are rectangular, square, L-shape, basta kaya na yung mga corner, no? So, more or less, those are tied columns because the stirrups there are, or the lateral ties there are arranged or installed individually. Okay? Now, for circular column, in most cases, no, sometimes the lateral ties are installed in a spiral configuration. So just like this one. No? So for example, you have a column, a circular column here, and sorry, you have a circular column. Sometimes the arrangement of our ties is like this. Okay, so that siguro mag-ano lang tayo. Okay, so this is the main reinforcement. Okay, ang arrangement karon sa to ang lateral ties is like this. More siya spring, wherein it will be installed continuously, forming like a spiral. Okay, so in that case, we call that one as spiral column. Okay? So this is very important because lahi ang formula or lahi ang reduction factor together with the factor for our nominal axial compression loading kung tied ang atong column and kung spiral ang column. That is why we need to understand what is the difference between a spiral and a tied column. Okay? And the last one is a composite column. A composite column is a column made up of not only reinforced concrete but in an introduction of an additional material. Just like this one, if you notice, we have the wide flange at the center, then the wide flange is actually wrapped with reinforced concrete. So in that case, the column now is composed of two types of material, no? The steel and the reinforced concrete. So in that case, it becomes a composite column. Okay, so meaning if we are going to classify the column in terms of the lateral ties or ties, then we have three types, no? Or three classification. We have tied columns, spiral columns, and composite columns. Okay, so the next type or classification is based on the length, and we have two classification of columns here. We have a short column and long column. So I think I have discussed this one a while ago. Now, if the column is a short column, then it is due for crossing of concrete of the yielding steel bars under full load capacity of columns. Full load capacity in terms of compression loading. No? So more or less columns which are short, yung failure mode is actually compaction mode. Okay? While for long columns naman, characterized by a very slender column and a very long height or span, the characteristic of its failure is buckling. No? Meaning mabakol siya before siya mag-fail. So in that case, we need to consider if the column is slender or not. Because if the column is slender, then we need to consider the slenderness effect of that column by magnifying the load capacity, the loading characteristic of that particular column. That is why naada yung time moment magnification factor. That is to account the slenderness effect of our column. Okay, so recall, if we are going to classify our column based on the length, then we have short and long column. And we can also classify our column based on the loading characteristics. No? And so the first type of column is an actually loaded column. So these are columns in which it is subjected to pure compression, and that particular load, the compressive load, is at the center of gravity, just like the first figure. So if you notice in the first figure, the compressive load here is at the center of the center of gravity of our column, and therefore that is an actually loaded columns. Now, but take note, a pure axial load does not actually happen in actual design. No? Dili na siya mahitabo mostly in actual design. No? Ang atong pure compressive loading because gani sa ato ang beam column connection, if you still remember this one, kung mag-design kita og beam, we are going to compute the reaction of our beam based on the clear span. Ito yung ating gagamitin for the span of our beam. In other words, the reaction here is actually acting at the beam column joint itself. And when we are going to transfer this particular compressive load, it will be transferred at an assumption that it will be acting at the center of gravity. So therefore, it will have an eccentricity. So based on that eccentricity, na kay moment yung material. Aside from pa, sa moment may produce based on the loading here. Na naman kay moment diri kay na may load imong beam. So na yung additional moment based on the eccentricity of our altimeter or our compressive reaction. Okay? So it says here that a column subjected to pure axial load does not exist in concrete buildings. It will not really exist except na lang kung ang consider nimo nga column is katong column going to the roof. A tendency is kung ang column nato is going to the roof, kanya ang gipatong nato dito is only the truss, and we make sure that the connection between the truss and that of the column imong gibutangan og kani ang iyang connection is naagid sa tunga. So in that case, that is a pure compressive action. But if we are going to consider beam column joint for concrete buildings, then dili kita maka-achieve pure action. Okay? So, question karon, na batay actually loaded columns for buildings? Yes, nagyapon. Especially if our eccentricity is very real or is relatively small, with a small eccentricity, wherein ang atuang criteria ana niya is about 15 plus 0.03 of each or less in terms of millimeters. So I'll give you an example here. So halimbawa na atay ko ang ingon ani. Now it is measured 450 by 500. Okay? And assuming that this is our center of gravity. This is our center of gravity. This is x-axis, then this is the y-axis. Now, for example, the ultimate load is acting at this point. Ayan. It has an eccentricity along x direction of 0.15 and along y direction naman of 0.2. Okay? 0.2. Ayan. So, muna yung eccentricity. Now, how can we determine if the column is actually an actually loaded column or not? So, na din tayo i-test nga provision, no, or criterion. No? We are going to test if the eccentricity, which is along x 0.15 and along y is 0.2, is within the tolerable eccentricity for actually loaded column of 15 plus 0.03 each. So, meaning along x direction, at rin na siyang butangan or isumpay na dire. So, that becomes 15 plus 0.03 of x direction. In that case, that is 450 millimeters. So, naa kay boundary kung naa ka karoy limit na 15 plus 0.03 of 450, that is 28.5 millimeters. Wherein the 28.5 millimeters here is less than the 150 mm na actual eccentricity. Therefore, since this is our actual eccentricity is more than the allowable 28.5 millimeters, then we need to design this column as not an actually loaded column, but rather it is a combined column with building. Same po the procedure along the y-axis. So that becomes 15 plus 0.03 of 200 na kay actual or na kay allowable eccentricity of 21 mm, which is less than the 200 mm. So meaning this type of column is not an actually loaded column. In other words, we can only say that the column is actually loaded column if the eccentricity is less than or equal to 15 plus 0.03. Okay? So I hope that is understood. Now, if the column is not actually loaded column, then might be that it is an eccentrically loaded column. Okay? So, meaning, pag check mo karon sa eccentricity, more than siya sa 15 plus 0.03 of H, then it might be an eccentrically loaded column or biaxially loaded loaded column. So, ano kung sa may kalainan aning duha, eccentrically o biaxially loaded column? When we say eccentrically loaded column, it is a type of column wherein iyang eccentricity is more than the criteria nga 15 plus 0.03 of H. But take note, the eccentricity is within a single axis only, just like this one. Okay? So if you notice in this, ito na lang, itong figure na to, the P here, ito actually loaded man, naman siya sa center. In the second figure, the P is may silog siya, it has an eccentricity, but the eccentricity is at a single axis only. Okay? It is within the single axis only. Now, we can only say that that is a biaxially loaded column when the eccentricity is both x and y axis, just like this. Take note, it might be that the configuration of ang configuration sa ito ang column is mura siya o biaxially loaded column pero dili ay. No? Kung saan man siya nga scenario. So for example, mo na ito ang column. No? Ang nag-act na ito ang load karon is na adali. So this will be our load P. So meaning it has eccentricity along x and eccentricity naman along y. Diba? Take note, we cannot say that this is a biaxially loaded column, alright? Automatically. No, we need to check it first. So for example, no, ang atong eccentricity along the x-axis is more than the criteria na 15 plus 0.03 of h. Okay? So more than siya. So meaning dili siya eccentric along x-axis, but the EY here is less than this value kay gamay man kayo siya. Diba? Gamay man kayo siya. So below siya ani nga criteria karon. So meaning it is only eccentric at a single axis. Therefore, in that case, the column will be eccentrically loaded. Okay? So meaning we can only say that the column is biaxially loaded column if both the eccentricity x and y is more than the allowable eccentricity of 15 plus 0.03 h. Okay? Nagets ba? Any clarification? Did you understand what I am trying to explain? Si Banga kami nakasabot o si Castro. Okay, so continue ta. Okay, so meaning kung atong i-classify nga to ang column based on the loading configuration, then we have three types of column. No? We have the short column, the eccentrically loaded column, and biaxially loaded column. The next classification will be based on the frame bracing, and we have two types of column in this case. We have braced against side sway and not braced against side sway. So unsa may kalainan aning duha, no? So may kalainan ana nila. So for example, mo ni atong framing plan. Mo ni ato ang beam column frame connection. Yan. So, ano itong beam column connection. So, these are our column and this is our beam. Alright. Okay? So, kung inali ang ato ang beam column, then this is a not brace against side sway column. So, ordinary beam column connection na siya. So, meaning in that case, this is a not brace against side sway. Now, sometimes we can actually, especially kung retrofit kita, pwede ka magbutang ng steel brace along this portion kay ng ana siya. So in that case, that column is actually a brace against side swaying column. Or pwede siyang iikis na to. No? Ayan. Or butangan to siya wall. Tibuok. No? Siya yung wall diha. Tibuok yun. Wall siya. So it is braced against side swaying column. Okay? So meaning pala, if we are going to classify the column based on the frame bracing, then anti-brace against side sway and not brace against side sway. In most cases, pag building siya, especially if the building is na siya partition along its perimeter or along the location of the column, then it is considered as brace against side sway. Okay? Now, nganong kailangan na to siya may bawaan kung brace ba siya or not brace, because both of which has different approach in terms of considering the slenderness effect, wherein the slenderness effect of the column will be dependent on the slenderness ratio. So take note, ang slenderness ratio is ito, KL over R. Alright? Kung ang slenderness ratio na kung ito ang column, KL over R is equal or less than 34 minus 12 times the ratio of moment 1 over moment 2, and that value is also less than or equal to 40, then you might neglect or you are going to neglect the slenderness effect. Otherwise, if this condition is not satisfied, then you need to consider the slenderness effect by applying the moment magnification factor. Okay? Now, kung saan man siya nga formula? Of course, yung K natin, this is the effective length factor wherein na atay different formula niya depending on the support of our column. Ayan, so ito, this is the formula. Ayan. Okay, so I hope you're familiar with this. Okay, so muna ang values. Sorry, ano? Muna ang values ato ang K. No? Ano to? Wala ito. Alright, muna ang values ato ang K. Okay, so natay theoretical nga value as po tayo recommended design value. Okay, depending on the type of support. Okay, and then for our L sub E, this is the unsupported length of our compression member. So take note ng unsupported length of our compression member. So for example, nakoy column lugar ngayon ani yang dagway wala to frame. So the overall length of my column is say 5 meters. Ayan. Okay? Dabi ka ang brace na to, pwede man ngayon ano yung brace. Yan na yung bracing. Yeah, this is about 1 meter to 2 meters. So, ang unsupported length na to karon will be this one. Either 2 meters or 1 meter. Dili kaning 5 meters because we have here a support of this particular portion. Okay? So, that is the definition of compensation. Yung R naman, the value of R is actually the radius of gyration. This is the square root of I over the square root of the moment of inertia over the area. Wherein we are going to use 0.3 for rectangular or square column and 0.25 naman for sa tawag ni for circular column. So tingnan 0.3 times the overall dimension. Ito naman 0.25 times the overall dimension. So yun sa man siya pagkuha. Di ba nga itong radius of gyration is simply the square root of the moment of inertia divided by the area. So for example, rectangular nga ito ang section. Di ba nga ito ang rectangular, aduna ka na siya ay moment of inertia nga BH over cube, BH cube over 12. Ang area niya is base times height. So, cancel out ang ato ang B. Ang nabilin ana is the square root of H cube o H squared na lang. Kaya cancel mo po dyan. H squared over 12. So, square root of H squared, that is H. So, that becomes 1 over 12 of H. Ayan. So, yung square root of 1 over 8, 1 over 12, that is approximately equal to 0.2886 H. So, unang giround siya into 0.3. Maong kani. Okay? Same goes to circular column. No? For circular column, di ba? Ang circular column, ang iyang I anak niya is pi d4 over 64. Okay? O niya, ang iyang area, yung formula, this is the I, ang iyang area na yun is pi d4 over 4. Okay? Di ba ang mabilin ani kan this is square lang, sorry. Di ba ang 64 divided by 4, that is 16. So cancel ni sila. Cancel sad ni ang mabilin square na lang. Ang mabilin anak niya karon, that is d square over 16. Or square root of 1 over 16, that is 1 over 4. Square root of d square is d. So, maunang 1/4 of d or 0.25 of d. Maukan. Ayan. Okay, 0.25 times the order of dimension. Alright? And then, within this formula, the 34 minus 12 m1 over m2, the moment m1 and m2 here are actually the moment at the column ends. Ayan. So, we'll notice meron tayong moment at the column ends. Those are the moment that we are going to use for our formula. And take note, nakakana siya ay duha ka formula M1 and M2 because if we are going to take this as our example, mauni nga to ang column, the top is carrying the beam and it is also supported by the footing. For example, ground floor column top. Take note, the beam here will produce moment going to the column. Okay, the beam is carrying a load man, di ba? So it will produce a moment going to the column. So meron tayong moment dyan, isa ka moment dito. And at the same time, when we are going to transfer that going to the footing, we also have a moment here at the column footing joint. So meaning, na-add tayo duha klase na moment, M1 and M2. And take note, M1 should always be smaller than M2. M1 is the smaller value, M2 naman is the larger factored end moment on a compression member. Now, for example, what if ang atoang column at the beam column joint, ang atong moment at beam column joint here is lesser or greater than the moment at the support? So, meaning, in this particular case, itong M1 at M2 na to can be interchanged. Okay, so for example, ang top moment nimo is greater than the bottom moment. Therefore, this becomes M1. Ito naman, this becomes M2. Okay, so take it, this is just an example, no? Wherein the moment at the top is the smaller value comparing to the moment at the bottom. If that will not happen, then you may interchange your M1 and M2. Okay? And take note, depending on the direction of our moment, na rin tayo curvature na may tabo sa itong buckling. If the moment is in opposite direction, tendency, the column will buckle at a single curvature. We call that one a single curvature column or buckling. But if the moment is of the same direction, just like this one, si M1 o si M2 pareho lang ang direction, it will have a double curvature buckling. And this is also very important because this will determine the value of our ratio between M1 and M2, wherein it becomes positive if the column is bent in a single curvature and becomes negative naman if the column is bent in a double curvature. So, meaning itong M1 and M2 na to, magiging positive to kung single curvature and magiging negative naman kung double curvature siya. Okay, so that is the characteristics of brace against side sway. If the column is not braced against side sway, ang imo karong i-consider na slenderness effect criterion is only this. No? If the slenderness ratio KL over R is less than or equal to 22, then you may consider to neglect the slenderness effect. So, excuse ako sang ako sang i-cut ka dyan. So, palayon ta, no? And so, mo ni siya, no? This is the criteria that we are going to satisfy, no? If we are going to consider the slenderness effect of that, okay? If our slenderness ratio is less than or equal to 2, then you are going to disregard our slenderness. Meaning you are not, you may not magnify your moment of capacity. Right? So, any question so far? Do you have question, clarification? Banga may sige react. Alright, so ayan kita. Okay.